Hello and welcome to Woodworking One class. As we start this adventure together, I'm looking forward to it. There's going to be some definite challenges, but I wanted to make a quick video that kind of walk through typical first day stuff that we usually go through if we're in class together. Obviously, you're sitting at home or wherever it is that you're working on this course, and it's going to have to look different. But if you were in class on day one, we would start by going through this PowerPoint slideshow presentation. And please know I'm not going to take a half an hour to go through this that I typically would, but I am going to take some time to talk through what the expectations are of class, because some of that's going to be very similar whether we're online or together in class. One of the things that I'm going to ask you to do almost right away is it says Elluminate down here, but we're going to do a Google form instead. That'll be a little bit simpler. But I'm going to have a link to a survey that I need you to take that just gauges your knowledge of what careers and skilled trades look like. So be looking for that. It'll probably be an announcement in Canvas, and we're going to go through how to set up announcements, how to read inboxes to make sure that you're getting the notifications that I'm sending to you. By the end of the day today, or by the end of this video today, I want you to understand the basic requirements of class, a parent permission form, but you don't have to worry about e-pay. The only time we're going to have a lab fee is if we do come back to class in May, which I'm hoping that we do. We will have a project that we build together. So these couple weeks leading up until May 5th, when we're supposed to go back to class, is going to be to get us ready so we can hit the ground running and we don't have to do any safety demonstrations or safety talks when we get to school. We can just start cutting and going. We're going to skip the basic cell structure of wood for now, but we may come back to that in a week or so. I am on Twitter, not posting a lot these days, but if you're curious of what some projects have looked like in the past, jump on Twitter, WHS Chopsaw, and we've got some pretty fun things that some of your older classmates have done. If you want to take the time and watch this video about Mike Rowe, that's great. He really does a nice job of explaining some things about careers, but something that I'm passionate about is talking to you about careers. Which ones exist, what we should do for career research. I think that we have this backwards as a country, that we typically ask, where are you going to college when you get out of high school? But if you look at this slide, this is put out by the Minnesota Department of Employment and Economic Development, the red are the careers that require a 4-year bachelor's degree. The black and blue are ones that require something less than that. There's a huge shift as our country moving away from everybody needing to get a 4-year degree and moving towards people getting trade school degrees. Those could be 9 months, they could be 18 months, they could be a 2-year associate's degree. But right now in 2020, the average technical college degree, that's a 2-year college degree, pays $10,000 a year more than your average college degree. And so what I will talk with you about, especially if we come back together in class, is how important it is to really dig into what career you want to go for now and then find the most efficient way to get there. We get far too many people going to University of Minnesota Duluth because their buddies are going there and they really don't have an interest in going there. They just want to go there to get the experience, which becomes a really expensive endeavor. So there's going to be a website here, the Trades Hub, that we will have you guys click through, and I've got lessons that click through this. Just know that if you get to this website, you are going to have to click on careers. The website looks a lot different now than it did before. I think I'm on the wrong page. There we go. We got to go back to the Trades Hub, the main page. And we can click on lots of different videos that you guys can watch when you would like to. There's some stuff that we will require you to do as a class as well. I have a video that I'm going to introduce my family with, but here's a quick snapshot. I've got 2 kids that are in 3rd grade and 1 that is in preschool. So I spend a lot of my days homeschooling them. So you'll have to be patient with me during this unusual time where they're not actually going to school. They're home with my wife and I, but my wife does work as well as I do, obviously. And so we have to spend a significant amount of time teaching them how to do addition and subtraction and reading and writing, all that stuff that comes with 3rd grade. So if I don't get back to emails right away, I typically I take the morning half where I'm out in the shop working with you guys in the morning, and then my wife takes the afternoon where she does her work. So it may be a little bit of a delay. If you get me things in the afternoon, it might be the next morning before I get there. We're not going to take time to walk through these videos, but I see this class through a lot of industry experience. I talk a little bit about this in the About Me video that you will probably watch if you haven't done it already. But my journey started in Spanish class. I was in a third level Spanish class at Anoka High School my junior year, sophomore year of high school. And I went to the counselor and said, I can't do it. I don't want to be in Spanish class any longer. She said, your really only option is Woods class. And I didn't know much about it, but I jumped in and I loved it. As soon as I got out of high school, I started working at a cabinet shop called Boyd's Custom Cabinets. I worked there for 6 years. Then I moved overseas. My wife and I spent our first year of marriage in Quito, Ecuador, working at Alliance Academy International. It's a missionary school down there, and I was a chaplain and a substitute teacher. Had an amazing experience down there. And while I was down there, I built my very first kitchen on my own. So when I came back to the States in 2008, I started this company called Swenson's Custom Woodworking. And it was like one of the first few kitchens I built in Elk River. And here's some other projects that I've done all over the place for different people. This was actually for a teacher at Wayzata High. This is a place in Edina. Lots of different things. But I don't want to talk much more about me other than for you to realize that I see this through an industry kind of blue collar career as I do still work in the cabinet industry. So I kind of understand this blue collar, white collar deal because I live in both worlds and I see a lot of benefits in both of them. My goal for this class is for you guys to have a good experience. All the research and education says that if students have a good time in class, they do better. And so I want you to have a good experience here. I want you to understand a little bit about manufacturing. And we'll talk about more of this when we get together in class. Understand there's a lot of skilled careers, and I'm going to skip that now because you're going to get that later on. Learn what soft skills are. That means showing up on time, looking presentable, getting the work done when you said you're going to get it done, and not offending people when you're doing it. We want to learn it's okay to make mistakes and screw things up. We're all going to get there. And so what we're doing, now keep in mind, this is the slideshow that if you were in class is what you would see, but some of this is going to ring true. We're going to learn woodworking tools. So for the next 3 weeks or so, we are going to learn 8 tools as if you were in the shop. I've prepared safety videos for you that you'll watch me talking about the tools. You're going to fill out a sheet on that as you're watching the safety video, and then you're going to upload that to Canvas, and that's going to unlock a safety quiz for that tool. So we're going to learn safe tool and machine operation, and we're going to do the best we can doing this over video. We're going to learn a little bit about design, and that really comes with, it depends on when we come back to school. Some of that stuff we might have to skip, but we typically would build a cutting board that we design ourselves. Some CNC machine operation, that's probably going to have to come in Woods too. I don't know that many of you have a CNC router at home. Problem solving, decision making, time management, all this stuff rings true whether we're online or in class. And we're probably only going to have time to complete one project because of how we're having to deliver this stuff. And hopefully you'll get some knowledge that you'll use the rest of your life. There is no lab fee unless we go back to class. You can see some pictures of what students have built in the past. We actually moved to doing a cutting board like the picture on the left shows. When we do come back to class, respect is a big thing for me. We got to respect each other. No earbuds. We can't have earbuds in during class. You can do this at home. I'm only worried about it when we come back in May. Get your classwork done on time and understand that I'm going to make mistakes. There are things that I am going to screw up, and I'm going to need your grace on them. This is just a quick slide. I talk a lot about normals, and it was a premarital counseling session that I was in with my wife. And I'll tell you guys the story if we come back together, because it's a pretty good one about how I screwed up, because there's quite a few of them. This is the project that we are going to probably still be able to build if we come back in May. The one change is we're going to get rid of the drawer. We're just going to have a cabinet with the door that opens, and you'll learn how to do all of that start to finish. Unfortunately, there's not going to be extra time in class like there was in most classes for us to do some extra credit projects like Adirondack Cares. However, if we don't wind up coming back and we spend the month of May doing distance learning, I have these plans that I can share with you. If it's something that you want to tackle a job at home, I'm happy to help in any way that I can. Classwork habits, we're going to skip that. The grade scale, this might get tweaked. Again, depending on how long we're out, those percentages might have to change. Because if we don't have a ton of projects, we're probably going to weight tests and assignments about 50-50. And I'm working with the other tech ed teachers to decide how we're going to do that. But it's going to be your responsibility if you see something that's not correct. to get that changed. So that's really our day one stuff. There's a syllabus here that we could look at. This class usually is an articulation agreement with Hennepin Tech, but we're not going to be able to do that because of the way that the class has changed, which means you're going to have to come back to Woods 2 to get college credit for it. All the rest of this stuff, we kind of hit all of it, so I don't really need to do a whole lot with that. But one thing I do want to do is I want to go to Canvas and show you how we're going to navigate Canvas. So this is your class right here, Term 4, Wood Manufacturing. And there's probably going to be some more changes that get made here, but this is where you're going to want to live. Right here, the daily schedule. Now, if you're using this on an iPad, it can become very difficult to navigate through the app. And oftentimes the homepage doesn't even show up. So I would always go from the website, or you could start at the app, and if the app gives you trouble, go to the online version of Canvas. It works significantly better. But in this daily schedule, this is where it's going to give you what assignments you need to work on and what the due dates are. So you can see our week one stuff is all right here. And typically I give you Fridays. I don't give you new assignments, but everything is kind of due on a weekly basis. So week one, there's going to be a table saw safety that you have to do and miter saw safety that you have to do. And you're also going to start this About Me project. And I haven't written that up here yet. On a newer version, I've got it on there and you'll see it. But it'll be a link to a slide that says, hey, this is what we have to do today. So if this was April 14th, if it was Tuesday, we would look and say, this is day 2 of class. By the end of the day today, here's our goals. And here's what you need to do. You need to watch this video on Trades-Hub, and then you need to click on the table saw icon. So I'll watch the video that this is linked to. If I scroll down just a little bit, and they just changed it. So I'll make sure all those links work because they just changed the website. I can't get back to where I wanted to go. So I'm going to have to change some of those websites. But actually, that one is working fine. I just want you to watch this video right here. It's a phenomenal video, and it's the intro to the website. So you'll watch a video there, and then you'll click on the table saw icon, which is the same thing. So if I go to the home page, it takes me to the same place as if I would just click on table saw right here. And once I click on this table saw icon, I got 5 or 6 steps depending on what progress we're making in class. But I've got these different, your step 1 is to watch this video, download this handout, watch this video. So this is kind of for fun. This is the table saw that we have. We actually get a guy stick his finger in the table saw and you can see what happens. But then every day you're going to download this handout. And it's going to look a little different on your iPad than it does here. But there's a handout that you'll be able to download. And then you'll watch this video. And this is me walking through the equipment at school. And you're going to fill out the blanks as you do it. And you're going to submit that handout that you just did. And then you're going to take the quiz. And the quiz password will always be down here. So this is how our days are going to go for at least the first 3 weeks. When we get to week 3, we start doing a little bit more with measurement. But for the most part, we are going to be doing some pretty sweet stuff distance education wise. If you've got questions on this, I would love to get your emails. I'm not planning on doing anything live for this class. I want it to all be done on demand because I know your schedules are all different. So be looking for updates, but this daily schedule right here is where you're going to want to be. I look forward to working with you in class.